Hi listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to Upptalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say Upptalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it. Let's investigate SAP, a well-known enterprise resource planning system, and discover its many functionalities and business applications.
You'll understand. Don't worry. The CPL is nothing. It's nothing, but it's like a SAP. It will give access to all the analytical privileges that are there in the system, which we don't want. I have assigned the privilege that is necessary. What I'm going to do a refresh. I'll explain it once again. I'll go to newbie. I'll go to attribute view. I'm going to close this. And we are again going to go for data free view. I'm going to drop S number in value access. I'm going to drop name. I'm going to drop gender. Now I'll be only able to see one name, that is SORAP name. Because I have restricted the data for SORAP. So see what happens in newbie here. So I have created an attribute view and I have created a restriction for that particular attribute view. What restriction did I create for that particular attribute view? I have created a restriction that whoever is going to access this particular newbie package. So it comes like in two ways. That particular attribute view will be there, but that attribute view will be restricted under analytical privilege. So suppose if you're assigning this newbie package to the user also, you will not be able to access the entire data, any data for that matter, until and unless you assign the analytical privilege which comes with that particular package. That's what happened here. So if you don't want any restriction, if you want to give full access to the user, then you should not have any analytical privileges. You should not have any analytical privileges created on your attribute view. Your attribute view should be free of any analytical privileges. So then and only then, if you're assigning that attribute, let us say fine. Now I'm going to create a new view. And that new view is not going to have any analytical privilege created. Let's see what happens on that. Because in real-time scenario, you will not be assigning the users with the entire access. newbie, you'll always be assigning the restricted access. If he wants entire access, what you're going to do? Let us say if you entire access means what in an ideal scenario. Let us say you have 4 locations. Your company is located in 4 locations. There will be 4 company codes created for each company location. So you will create 4 analytical privileges. On the same table, you're going to create on the same attribute view, you're going to create 4 analytical privilege, one for GB10, GB20, GB30, GB40. For 4 locations, you're going to create 4 analytical privileges. Let us say you will be able to see all the analytical privilege under this package, but you will only assign one privilege that you want to the end user, so that he will be only, let us say, he wants full access. You'll assign 4 privileges, 4 analytical privilege to the user. So that is how you are to the user for the entire attribute view. because that is going to cause outage for sure in long term. Of course, it will not cause initially, but later on people will catch up with the data. Let us say in an organization there'll be, let us say in an organization like I'm supporting a pharmaceutical company. Now I'm working for a pharmaceutical company now. So let us say in this pharmaceutical company, like tomorrow there is going to be like in 5 to 10 days, there is going to be important drug that is going to be launched in India or in some other country. If this drug is going to be launched, obviously when this drug is launched, the stock prices of this company will increase or not. It will definitely increase. So there is a chance. If you're able to see that insensitive data directly in that package, will you be able to invest in the company or not? That is called insider trading. You will be able to do it. So is it sensitive data or not? It's obviously sensitive data. Also, there is some financial figures. Or the company's financial figure is very bad for this quarter. That is also a sensitive data because that sensitive data is a sensitive data because it can be used by your rival company. This consultant can share this data to your rival company. So there is always data outage here. For that reason, we always restrict it this way. Let us click weekly, create a calculation view. You'll be able to in calculation view or not create any analytical privilege. Then you will be able to see all the data in calculation view. Then I'll create an analytical privilege. Then the restriction will apply. I think so. You're able to understand by now, like what I've done here. Let us create something else. Where is your package? Well, creating a little privilege, you can do it. It becomes a global access privilege. You can call it a global access privilege, obviously, because it is in your hand. What things you want to restrict. Now what I did, I restricted for only user with the name here. So what we will restrict in global role, what in global privilege, what you're going to do, you're going to select company code and you are going to give all company code as G, B10, 20, 40. You can add a number of things. I'll show you while creating the new one. This is your package. Now I created only attribute. Let us create a calculation view. It's very easy. It's not complex at all. It's very easy, but you need to have some hands-on to get some idea. I myself took some time actually yesterday. So I worked on the system. It was very slow. Like now, whatever you're going to see, you're seeing is like we are very lucky. Like it's fast, but it was very slow yesterday. Let us have a dimension. Cube is very complex. Cube data is very complex. This can be only used by modelers. I don't know, like how to use cube. I'm going to use a simple thing called dimension because we are only doing this for knowledge purpose only. We are not going to do it in the real time. So here what you're going to do in calculation view, you should add attribute view. As I said, it can be used like you can add attribute view or analytical view, whatever views you want. What attribute view we have created? We have created an attribute view called, let me see. Let me add back from the here. Back when he is there, and null B. I'm adding that attribute view in the data element. I'm going to select everything once again, gender and semantics, that you can. You will be able to restrict this. Go to view properties. Again the same thing. There'll be basically whatever we have done earlier, but the only thing is that don't select this analytical privilege. Select classical and tickle. I'll tell you what is the difference also. Don't worry. We will discuss as scale in the next time coming class. Nothing else should be changed. This is dimension as we selected earlier. This already damaged. It looks fine. Looks fine, looks fine, looks fine. I'm not going to create anything. I have just selected the columns that I need. I'll simply save and I'll simply execute. I'll simply activate. So your calculation view is ready. So what you can do? So your NLB, you already have that NLB packages and under newbie. So newbie will automatically get access to this calculation view. I'll refresh. I refresh this. I'll go to newbie. I'll go to the calculation view. I'll click on the I'll write like. I'll click on where is this data preview in data preview. I'll be able to see everything now. Why? Because there is no this thing created under this calculation, or is it also playing? So I forgot. So this calculation view is created on top of this attribute view. So in order to see the same restriction created for this attribute view will apply to your calculation view also. So in order to have this, you need to have this a privilege created also for calculation view. Then only you will be able to see any data here in calculation view. Let me quickly create that. Privilege. How does you not be able to see newbie? You basically bought it. Because the attribute view is already protected with this analytical privilege. The data under attribute view is already protected because of this. So in order to like even calculation view, if you want to give access for that also, a new analytical privilege has to be created. Analytical privilege. What I'm going to do, it's going to be classical to the village next. And I'm going to take content from newbie. I would take back 22. We'll obviously take back 22. I've taken this. So now what I'm going to do? You asked me earlier the same thing. I'll show you now. I'll give today's date on there. I'll give equal operator. Instead of between the things we go to do, I want to restrict on name. Now you said, what if I can create a global role? What I'll do fixed an operator. What I'll do? I'll select between and select. You got me between and select in value. What I'm going to do, I'll select this as from add as from value, and in to value I'll give 1. So what? I'll get all the data that is there in the table. I'll get because of this between operator, there is no need to enter multiple. If you want, you can select equal things and you can select multiple values, but doesn't make sense. It is not practical. If you have between operators, select in between. If you don't, if you want particular data, add some other rows and add the data. We'll be able to see all the data because we have selected the between operator here. If you want, we can add multiple rows, but waste of time. Why we have this thing? Now what I'll do? I'll add this built to newbie automatically. I'll be able to see people. So today I had to I concentrated on this. Actually, system is a very new system. So you will also take some time to understand what is happening in the system. So that's why I always suggest you should. What do you say? You should start practicing on the system. You already have your ID now, and I'll assign all the credentials that you want here. So you remember your ID. It's your same name and the password is Pololo987. I'll give number here. I'll give name. I'll give gender. What happened here? So what is coming? Because even though I've given all access here in this new privilege, but in the old privilege, the existing new privilege there, no, in new privilege, what has happened? We have already restricted the attribute view. When the data is coming to this calculation view, it is getting restricted and it is coming. So let us change this new privilege. Let me close all this nonsense here. Let me change that new privilege. So this is the privilege that we have created a new privilege. Let me open it. Let me open it and let me go to the restriction and let me change it. That will be enough. Now let us open the view. Now we have now we have given in both the privileges. We have given the entire values that are already there. So now it is giving you both the things. So always remember in your package, if you have some restrictions, let us say attribute view or analytical view that is used. Calculation view is already restricted. So you cannot give access to every data that you have. So always make sure that whatever data is there in attribute view is covered under the privileges that you create so that you will have command. If you have GB 10, 20, 40, you will be creating GB 10, 20, 30, 40 roles. You will not leave out 40 or 30 and you will only create GB 10 role correct because only then you will only be able to do only GB 10 data. So instead we had multiple analytical privilege so that you can give access to all the data that user needs. If this is that much simple, like there is a huge demand for HaneDB, you will not even find any instructors who teach you HaneDB because HaneDB is a bit complicated. The restriction that you apply. So in coming topics it is going to be more complicated. So whatever you're seeing now, it's very easy comparatively. Once you see what we are going to do in SQL, privilege restriction, then you will get the full heat of what we are going to see. This is nothing in front of it. Trust me. So this is only the beginning. I'm telling you. So now the further topics are going to be more complex, the role creation concepts, and all these concepts will be very complicated. So for creating roles, we will not be creating roles here. We'll be creating roles in the cockpit. The cockpit, which I've told you, security admin cockpit. I showed you. But there we have to create the roles which we will be discussing. That will be a very wider topic. And that session also will be for 2 hours. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.